Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Sawi and I will be with you again with the rational functions and wholes. Now before we talked about something we call it vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote and behavior, but today's lesson is talking about something we call it wholes. Now in mathematics, when you have like this function, look at the function when x was equals to 3. What is the value of y? We have this empty circle, and this empty circle means that the value of a 3 is undefined here, okay? It's what? It's undefined because we have nothing as the y value. We have an empty circle. Now, so that means that we have a hole when x equals 3 because the y value is undefined, and that's it. Now, we have something we call it limit notation for holes. Now, the limit notation, you have to notice that as we're getting closer and closer from 3 from this side, and we call it the right side, which is 3 and positive on the right side of it, the value of y is getting closer and closer from 1. And when you're getting closer and closer from the left side, and we call it 3 and negative sign on the right side of it, the value of y is getting closer and closer as well from the value of 1. So I'm going to say that the limit is x approaching 3 from left, the value of f of x is equals to 1. As well as the limit as x approaching 3 from right, the limit or the function is approaching 1. Okay? And you can see this on the graph. So as x approaching 3 from left, the f of x approaches 1. As well as here. As x approaching 3 from the right side, the f of x is approaching 1 also. Now, to understand this, you can look at this example. Example 2. We need to find the limit notation of holes. Now, in order of finding the limit notation of holes for any written function, you need to simplify your function only. Now, try to simplify your function here. In the denominator, you can take 10 as x, or 10 as common factor, sorry. So here is 10. Now, taking 10 as common factor or taking anything as common factor, that means you're dividing each term by it. So what is 10x divided by 10? That gives you x. Plus, what is 30 divided by 10? That gives you 3. Divided by. What do we have on the denominator? You have a polynomial function with a degree of 2. That means you're talking about quadratic functions. Now, in quadratic function, you can do factorization for your function. So that means you have 2 parentheses, x, x. Now, look for 2 numbers. If you multiply them, you're going to get -6. If you add them, you're going to get +1. That's clearly +3 and -2. So x minus 3 with x minus 3 will cancel out. And your g of x, it looks like it is 10 over x minus 2. Now, that means you have a vertical asymptote here at x equals 2. And we took this. Now, what about x plus 3 that we canceled it out from numerator and denominator? Now, the thing that you are canceling at, that means you have a hole on it. Okay? Because the function itself is undefined on x plus 3, but we canceled it out. So that means you have a hole on it. Now, you can memorize that, but to understand this, before cancellation, you will have a vertical asymptote. Now, but because of the cancellation itself, there is no vertical asymptote on x equals -3. So what do we have? We have a hole. So the hole that we have it for this function, it is when x plus 3 equals 0, which means x equals -3. We have a what? We have a hole. So we can summarize this by saying the bracket that you are canceling at, you have a hole on it. Okay? Now, if you want to understand more and more, you can draw your function. Now, the drawing of our function here, this function, which is 10x plus 30 divided by x squared plus x minus 6, draw it, you're going to get this shape. Okay? By the way, we said that we have a hard vertical asymptote at x equals 2, so we have this vertical asymptote here. To draw the function again, the function is going to increase from this side. It is like this. And from the right side, it is like this. Okay? So this is the graph of our function. Now look at yourself. Is that correct? As a graph, it is correct. But in our function here, 3 is defined, or negative 3 is defined, or it's a defined value for our function. But look at the function here. It's undefined because before cancellation, it makes denominator is equals to 0. After cancellation, it disappeared, or it is eliminated by cancellation. So what should we do?